Don't let them tell you nothing, baby. We can't. Don't let them tell you.
And it then just goes into, like I already predicted, a trap for one of the people to fall in. Who? Howard. Why Howard? Because he's a fucking idiot. I only say this because when you're just introducing him, he's nothing but someone that's a blowhard that's making sure that everything is wartime, making his kids militant, making sure that his kids are fattened to hell, carrying guns, talking about shooting things all the time. He's like that stereotypical hick that you find in a lot of films that you just want to, oh, I don't know, shove a grenade so far down their throat that they explode in. Like, that's how a lot of people like to describe it. Me, I would just personally put him in a cage to then be handled by top men. Who, you may ask? Top men. Hold on 1 second. I am thirsty. So from then on, we then have to go through the whole entire traits of a typical horror film that's mixed into a Christmas setting, with Christmas music being played out, but a whole lot of jump scares and a whole lot of different things going on in the atmosphere, like people being taken away, people being attacked by certain stuff, horrible CGI gingerbread men trying to steal a fat little boy. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be mentioning that too. Throughout this whole film, you will notice that, unlike the original tale that you probably grew up with, Krampus uses various toys and treats around Christmas, like demonic gingerbread men, snake like Jack in the Box clown creatures, teddy bears, cherubs, and a whole bunch of dark elves just busting into the place to try and snatch up children and other people to then be dragged into the underworld. However, that's not like the original source material, where all Krampus does is put children in his sack to then just go all the way to his part of the North Pole to then torture them relentlessly and then bring them back to their homes once they have been reformed. That is the original Krampus, but no, we can't have that Krampus. We gotta have modern day Krampus, y'all. We gotta make him all fresh and evil and demonic, yo. At least that's how I think a lot of Hollywood actors would just portray this whole thing. Would just, you gotta make it all dark and mysterious and very violent and disturbing, yo. We gotta make it all hip for the kids, know what I mean? And most people just be like, what the fuck you on, boy? Like, this ain't cool. This ain't cool. Just give me something that's gonna make me piss myself. Shit. So then, what else do we have that's in store for us? Well, one beautiful moment of claymation where we having Omi tell the story of Krampus after so many things have gone wrong. And we also find out why she believes in Christmas and Santa Claus. Seeing as how several years ago when she was a little girl in some part of Germany, she also felt the same way as Max, where she just wanted all of the people to go away and never have to bother her again, since they took the miracle and joy out of Christmas. From that point, she then had to endure the typical trauma that came from having her entire family slaughtered, her whole town decimated, and her left as the single reminder of keeping the miracle alive. For without a miracle or faith or anything, and all things into the Christmas spirit, there will be no one to keep us from the darkness shadows that come within the desolateness that comes from the desolateness of Christmas time. And honestly, when you're just kind of hearing that, you're just like, maybe Christmas shouldn't be so materialistic, right, guys? But no, we had to have the idiot in the room try to run out and get his ass killed. And then we had to go throughout the whole entire spiel of stuff like people going in groups of stuff and then getting kidnapped, people having to save them only to get attacked after having one of the people in the group getting kidnapped, a whole slew of debauchery going on, desolation, destruction, a whole lot of stuff they already used to, until finally it's like, we are losing so many people, we're down to like 6 different people, and we have nowhere else to go, so let's book it, only to have the oldest person in the film try to stay behind and save them, only to then face us off with the stupidest looking antagonist ever. Like, I'm being legit honest. When you're seeing the picture of Krampus in this film, it's not the same one that you're remembering in your head. No, it's this guy that looks like a swollen-faced Santa Claus with a mouth that looks like he's about to suck someone off, rolled up eyes, goat hair, goat horns, like he's Gene from Kiss. And you just kind of like, are you serious? Are you for real? This is our Krampus. You guys couldn't have gone out the extra mile of going completely beast mode sort of Krampus. You couldn't have gotten that one guy that's so lean and fit and brownish red that they just, I don't know, strolls in like he owns the place. You had to go with like the oldest kind of Krampus you know. Bruh, we want the pimpin' kind of Krampus if you're gonna be a horror setting. Make him kind of badass, make him kind of virile, make him look like he is the boss. But no. So, what happens next? Well, as the final people are getting taken out, one by one, we're then left with Max. Because after having his whole entire family taken away, his town being destroyed, we had to make sure to do the same thing that Krampus did to Omi. Making Max the living reminder of what he's done and what happens when faith is gone. But do you want to know what Max does, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want to know what Max does? He decides to go his own route, chase down Krampus to where he's been putting all the people into the underworld, offer himself up, and then, you guessed it, everything turns out to be a dream once it hits midnight. Hold on 1 second. That's good tea. Or was it? For you see, as soon as midnight struck and it became morning for all on Christmas Day, Max then opened up a gift to then see within that same box was the bell of Krampus. The same bell that's been held up throughout the entire film, symbolizing that Krampus was here. Krampus's actions have been not, but all reality, as everyone's memories return to that day, only to wonder what will become of them now. Shall they become darkness incarnate? Shall they become better people? What will happen? We will never know, as we shall never know the mystery behind Krampus. End scene. From that whole thing, when I was watching it, I was kind of like, this was okay, but here's my problem. Krampus isn't something to be a horror story for adults. He's supposed to be a story of be a better person for children. Throughout the whole time that you're just watching Krampus, you're kind of like, this doesn't seem like the perfect fit. The perfect fit, however, for Krampus, I'm not even trying to say this sentence out loud, but the Krampus that you're supposed to be following is the one that you see from one of the American Dad specials for Christmas, of him just trying to make children better by beating the shit out of them, whipping them, beating them, making sure they're not really snot-nosed little bastards. That is the Krampus you're supposed to remember and know and want to follow the story of. This Krampus, however, was just Hollywood's attempt of making a devil kind of character come in to be the horror film villain that we all are kind of looking for this holiday season. But that isn't the case. When you're kind of trying to watch this film, you have to, I don't know, make sure you have nothing going into this in order to follow it, to make sure your own assumptions of it are okay and true, and then you might enjoy it. But when you know the source material, like a few people do in the US, since Krampus has been kind of melding into the culture more and more as years have gone by, you don't really see them trying to make it a good enough premise to follow through of sorts on the material itself. I mean, I love a good horror film like The Next Guy. It's one of my bread and butters when it comes to the type of film I want to make when I get older and want to start making more stories as time goes on that aren't book related. But the problem with this is that no matter what you want to do, many people will do research after the film is over and quite frankly be confused by what you've done. However, as a story narrative for itself in a new modern setting, it's not that bad of a portrayal of what Christmas has become today. Materialistic, sort of nihilistic in a way, making it seem like no matter what you do, the family that you have doesn't really seem that grateful for what you've done. All that you've been seeing and witnessing is what Christmas has become for people. It's a toxic holiday for a lot of other individuals that just want to have happiness and joy rather than destructive tendencies going on in their lives. But you don't see that kind of commentary anywhere because a lot of people just want to celebrate it as the joyous of holidays, when in actuality it's the most venomous when you think about it more and more as time has gone by. It's no longer giving goodwill unto man. It's just wasting money on stuff that you don't really need and will probably return, despite how many times people work very hard for your gifts. It's kind of the smallest reason why I don't really celebrate Christmas anymore, because honestly, with winter solstice, I don't have to worry about getting people's gifts, sure, but it gives me more time to give my gratefulness to people and individuals. I want people to know that I am feeling very grateful to them from start to finish, and I want them to know that I appreciate them. That is my own version of Thanksgiving, since, well, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving because it was just a disguise by various pilgrims to then steal from Indians. So, my own personal opinion on holidays aside, this is my whole rating thing for Krampus, since I couldn't use any footage since it's still a new film out in theaters. I would honestly give this whole film a 9.9 out of 13. It's not really the best film for you to see, but it's also not the worst. The worst are Adam Sandler movies and Uwe Ball films and stuff that's adapted from Stephanie Meyer and anything that Ralph Bakshi has ever created in his life. I swear to God, I hope that man dies soon. Anyway, that is the final film I'm going to be seeing for the year. And I guess I'm going to be doing a top 5 films I've enjoyed this year and top 5 films I haven't enjoyed this year by the time that New Year's Day and New Year's Eve have arrived. So, time to get back to work on some more stuff that I really need to edit. So, peace out, nomads, and I'll see you guys later on.